Hello students, this is Ms. Tritz and I will be talking about the Renewable Resources intro video. So make sure that you have your Renewable Resources worksheet out in front of you for the web quest. I'll first be talking about the key terms so that you understand these more when you're doing your research. So make sure that you're writing down definitions for these key terms. Alright, so we'll start with wind power. I'll also discuss the difference between a windmill versus a wind turbine. So wind power is the power obtained by harnessing the energy of the wind. A windmill is a machine that converts the energy of the wind into rotational energy, and then it performs work by either grinding up food, so grain, and then making it into a flour, for example. And a wind turbine is used to produce electricity by using that rotational energy to actually drive a generator. So this can actually convert it from the rotational energy to electricity, something that we can use for lights and such. Now solar power, I will be talking about solar heating versus photovoltaic. So solar power is power obtained by harnessing the energy of the sun's rays. Now solar heating is using the sun's energy to heat a building, and this building has specially designed walls, windows, and floors which collect and store and distribute the heat. A photovoltaic cell produces an electric current or voltage which is caused by the electromagnetic radiation or the sun's rays. Alright, so now I'm going to be moving this up a little bit. So tidal power. Now this is the use of the rise and fall of tides of large volumes of water at low heads to generate electric power. So these will be mainly found along shorelines, so closer to the ocean or large bodies of water. Now geothermal power. Power that is generated by using steam, which produces heat when it's being released from the molten core of the earth. So this is, you can think of like the hot springs. So I know in Colorado there's a city named Hot Springs, and they actually have a pool area that people can go swimming in, and they don't need to heat it because it's actually naturally heated by the hot springs. Hydroelectric power. This is a form of energy generated by the conversion of free-falling water to electricity. So this is something like the Hoover Dam. So you're going to be using something like that to being able to turn a turbine, which will generate electricity. Then we have biomass. So biomass is plant material, vegetation, or agricultural waste, which can be used as fuel or an energy resource by either burning it or doing some other process with it to get the energy out of it, or heat. Gasohol. This is a mixture of gasoline and ethyl alcohol, which can be used as fuel in internal combustion engines. So if you have ever heard of ethanol, we put ethanol in gasoline, so you can check on when you go to a gas station, and it'll also actually say if there's 10% ethanol in that fuel. This is an example of a gasohol. Now you'll be answering these discussion points on your worksheet. So first, the first one is, what are the 3 renewable resources that you are interested in investigating further? For each of these, explain why you selected it. So make sure that you do that on your worksheet. The second question asks, using your understanding of the key terms for this activity, create a concept map below. Note you will need to use the terms from all 3 videos that you watched. So below on your worksheet, you will have to draw out a concept map using these key terms or concepts. Now I will be discussing the renewable resource scavenger hunt activity. So you will first see this slide here. So it is the introduction slide, or the title slide. You will be talking about 2 different renewable resources. So these are each worth 20 points. Each blank highlighted area is worth 1 point. Total points is worth 40. So now I'll talk about the next slide that you'll see. This is your resource slide. So as you can see here, for example, if you choose hydroelectric power, you will click on these source 1 and source 2. They're linked to take you to the website. If you also have a device that will allow you to read the QR codes, you can do that and it will also take you to that link. Otherwise, we have provided the textbook page numbers there for you. The next slide that you will see is where you will put the first resource that you have selected. So your number 1 resource you will put here for renewable resources. Then you will be talking about where is that resource. So where is your resource found? Be specific. List at least 2 locations. Alright, so these are specific places in the world that your resource is found. This can be where they have an abundant supply of these, or a major one of these, such as the Hoover Dam. In the space provided below down here, it asks you to identify 2 interesting facts that you learned about this resource, so make sure that you do that also. Then you'll have to link an image of your resource here, or provide a link or create an image of this resource here. Next slide asks, how is this resource used? So in the space provided below, it says write 2 statements regarding how your resource is used in providing us with energy or doing work for us. So make sure you list those 2 statements down here, and you are providing the 2 links or images, one for each of these over here. Next, you will be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of this resource. So you'll identify on this side 2 disadvantages, alright, of that resource, and over on this side you'll list 3 advantages. Make sure that you explain each disadvantage and advantage briefly. Lastly, you will come up and you will have to do this process all over again with your next or your number 2 resource. Make sure you list it here, and the process will be the same for this resource as well.